So yesterday I made a video about Helena Cronin's Edge article, in which she makes the scientific case to bring back sex and its biological basis into the discussion about sex differences. In that article, she posits what would have to happen to certain occupations in the UK to achieve the ridiculous ideological position of a 50-50 gender split across occupational categories. So I thought I would take that same hypothetical scenario and apply it to the United States. So the US Bureau of Labor Statistics provides a detailed breakdown of approximately 550 occupations in the US, and they provide a gender split between males and females. And in case you're wondering, no, there isn't a category for transgendered, non-binary, gender-fluid attack helicopters. This data is from 2015, and occupations that employ less than 50,000 people in total do not have a gender breakdown, so they won't be included. And I won't be looking at every category anyway, because there are just too many. So I will confine the analysis to occupations that are at least 75% dominated by one gender. And this is the same data I used in one of my first ever videos titled, "If Women Can Do Anything Men Can Do, Why Don't They?" And yes, this is a shameless plug for you to watch another one of my videos. In that video, I demonstrated that men dominate every dirty, dangerous occupation that exists. So in this video, I want to demonstrate the seismic shift it would take to get an equal number of women in some of those occupations, as well as the amount of men needed to move into occupations dominated by women. Now, I don't believe for a second that even the most ideologically rabid feminist wants to achieve 50-50 parity across all occupations, since they only ever campaign to achieve parity in occupations that have prestige and good pay. But since I believe in principles that feminists don't, like consistency, I think it's a worthwhile exercise. So let's first take a look at some of the largest female-dominated occupations and what it would take to get to equal representation in those jobs. There are about 3.15 million elementary and middle school teachers in the United States, 81% or 2.5 million that are female. So to even things up, a little less than 1 million female teachers would have to find something else to do, and the same amount of male teachers would have to be employed. There are almost 3 million registered nurses in the US, and almost 90% or 2.66 million are female. So only about 1.2 million female nurses would need to change jobs, and the same number of male nurses would need to be recruited. I'm sure that won't be a problem. Almost 95% of all the secretaries and administrative assistants in the US are female, and it would only take a shift of 1.3 million females to males to even things up. I guess this could be achieved if 1.3 million female secretaries just decided to identify as males. Now, out of the 1.5 million maids and housekeepers, only 162,000 are male. So we need to see 600,000 or so males enter that line of work. But I'm not sure how many rich men are going to want to cop a blowjob from a male maid. Since 91% of receptionists are female, we only need 500,000 men to step up to the phones and take those jobs off the ladies. Not a big ask at all. And given that 95% of childcare workers are female, a little over 500,000 males are needed to fill the quota. Although I don't know how that's going to go down with parents, given that all men assume to be either rapists or kitty fiddlers. And just for the hell of it, here are 52 female-dominated occupations that need more men to stop complaining, man up, and fill those positions. Oh yeah, I know what you're thinking. You want to be one of those extra 300,000 male hairstylists. Or perhaps you had your eye on massage therapy. I'm sure there'll be much fewer happy endings though if that happens. And another 55,000 librarians. Better invest in a set of problem glasses, boys. And it looks like they need another 50,000 or so male dietitians, because women always like it when a male tells them how fat they are. Now turning to the largest male-dominated occupations, of which there are many more than those dominated by females. Firstly, truck drivers and driving sales workers. Of the almost 3.5 million in the US, only 5% are female. So about 1.6 million more females are needed. And I suppose the male truck drivers who need to find other work could just fill those jobs in massage therapy and hairdressing. That seems like a good fit. So only about 777,000 female construction workers will be needed to fill the quota. No more long nails on the job, ladies. But on a positive note, the number of men being charged with the hate crime of catcalling from a building site should drop significantly. And approximately 434 basement-dwelling mummy's boys will have to give up their love of computers to make way for the ladies, because women are so into computers, aren't they? Looks like almost 600,000 women will be required for grounds maintenance, which is great if you think about it, because it gets them out in the open air, away from that sexist air conditioning. Less than 2% of all the carpenters in the US are women, which is strange because I know how much women love to plan decorating their dream homes that their husbands paid for. So now they'll get the added bonus of being able to build it as well. Now, this is one of those jobs where you're bound to get a little dirty, so it's ideal for those women who take absolutely no pride in their appearance, like feminists. And the male mechanics will probably be able to pick up work as dental hygienists. I'm sure those skills are transferable. And just for good measure, here are 113 male-dominated occupations that have up until now had a glass ceiling because misogyny and patriarchy and stuff. So as you can see here, I look forward to seeing more female electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters, steam fitters, and welders. Also, I can't wait for the rush of women to occupations such as maintenance workers, machinists, all kinds of engineers, and firefighters. Then there'll be the inevitable clamour for roofers' jobs, stonemasons, drywall installers, tile installers, telecommunication installers, and repairers. And let's not forget all those ladies banging the door down to be sheet metal workers, computer network architects, highway maintenance workers, parking lot attendants, and everybody's favourite, wastewater treatment workers. Then, of course, we have the coveted porters and bellhop positions, pest control workers, crane operators, cabinet makers, and last but not least, steel workers, millwrights, cement masons, and loggers, just to name a few. So as I said at the beginning, we all know that feminists only want representational parity in the occupations they covet. But despite their calls for quotas and other types of affirmative action, their biggest problem is overcoming the very real and well-documented biological differences between the sexes.